Hello there, and welcome to 10 advanced tips and tricks for Sanguophages in Rimworld. So, in this video I'm going to cover everything I have learned while guiding my good friend Troy here through this entire game. So, Sanguophages are really powerful, but there's a lot of things that are useful to know about them. So, I want to get started with number one. A prisoner blood farm is a really good thing to have. So you can of course live off of Hemogen packs, but that is actually quite inefficient. The easiest way is to get yourself some prisoners and configure them to the blood feed. So whenever somebody needs blood, they'll get nabbed there. Ideally, well, I have figured out that prisoners that can't move also can't revolt, so I leave that to your own liking. That's a pretty solid thing. This way you have a couple of people that only need food, they never break down, and you have your blood when you require it. Number two, I want to talk about the temper of a Sanguophage, and this will also lead automatically to people that look like Pepperoni and Poincack here, because, you know, Sanguophages have this wonderful trait of being aggressive. That means they start more social fights, they have a chance to have violent breakdowns more often, and therefore, well, they will be in a bad mood and punching people quite often, and, well, all in all, this means you have to handle these guys well. In this scenario, I gave this guy an entire religion so he can be the God Emperor and be happy about that, but you don't need to go that extreme. But whatever you do, it's really important that you keep the Sanguophages happier than the rest of your colony. So give them drugs, give them fine clothes, the best rooms, luxury, and all those things, and you'll be rewarded with less limbs flying off of people. So, number three, I want to talk about Deathrest. So, Sanguophages all need their Deathrest from time to time, and as you see here, it's a quite generous period. So, what's really important to note is, first of all, build those machines and link them to your caskets. That's one thing. But the other thing is, don't worry too much about the impact of death resting. Even if your vampire is death resting while you're being attacked, you can wake them up. The downsides of that are really pitifully low, and your Sanguophage will be even still more powerful than a regular baseliner. So don't worry too much about it and build those machines. Buy yourself the elixirs that give you more capacity, because you can just give yourself bonuses for a successful death rest. So it's kind of a penalty, but usually if I had to wake my vampire up, he woke up, he kicked some butt, and he went back to bed, and everything was fine. So, number four, I want to talk about how to deal with these guys when they are against you, because, you know, sometimes they are also enemies. You can utilize this weakness of theirs quite well here. They got Tinder Skin, which means they have a 400% increased fire damage, and they also have pyrophobia. So typically, if you have to deal with a couple of pissed Sanguophages, if you can't prepare it, all you need is a Molotov cocktail or an incendiary launcher, a room, a tightly locked door made out of stone or something, or somebody with construction high enough to repair it on the fly, and, well, your Sanguophage problem will be resolved quite quickly. Fire is really powerful against them. Therefore, if you want to pick up one of these quests where there's a chance of the Sanguophages deucing it out on your territory, prepare some Molotov cocktails and enjoy the show if they think they can piss you off on your own premises. So, number five, I want to talk about another wonderful thing that Sanguophages are really compatible with, and that's melee. So, not only do they have a bias to having a strong melee, they also have this gene that gives them a higher damage factor, and this, well, it's really cool if you give them a nice and heavy hitting weapon. They are among the most powerful melee pawns that I have ever tried out in vanilla game, and give them some armor, give them a shield belt, and they are really a one-man army, especially since they also got the ability to get themselves a bone spike out here, a piercing spine thing, As you see here, the range of that is fairly low, and, well, therefore, it's also another thing that harmonizes in melee quite well. So all in all, these guys are better off in close quarters than ranged combat. Use that however you want. So, number 6, I want to talk about slaves. So slaves are a very, very compatible thing for your Sanguophages. That's simply because when they have a mental breakdown that makes them go berserk or something, slaves are wonderful to put them in between and just take the hits so your colonists don't have to. I really recommend this as a mitigation method because, however you play it, usually everybody has a mental breakdown once in a while, and you cannot totally avoid it. Sometimes, food poisonings happen, or let it be a psychic drone or anything. Sometimes you just don't have these things in your hands, and yeah, slaves can just tank that berserk attack, and you don't have to worry about other people. Also, you get people like him out of that procedure, which can then act as blood farms. So, all in all, let's move on over to number 7. I want to talk about Hemogen packs. So Hemogen packs are worth 20 blood points, and you're paying your skills with blood points. You can also heal people with blood points, or, well, basically bandage their wounds, but it's pretty powerful. So all in all, I consider these Hemogen packs as mana potions for vampires. So you can also extract them regularly out of your prisoners by selecting Hemogen farm, and I'd recommend you to pick them up whenever you want to assign your vampires on missions, or when you have the feeling that you want to spam some skills. Just give them some of these thingies and they can go crazy. Especially some mods allow you to store things in your inventory. That's where the fun's at. So, number 8, I want to talk about Cryptosleep caskets. So, since it is quite hard to have several vampires in your colony that are working on out, you can actually create yourself a vampire a year and then slap him into a Cryptosleep casket. This is a wonderful way of maintaining a ready-to-use army of vampires, if you would put it to the extreme. So you'd be able to build Cryptosleep caskets pretty late down the road. They are pretty hard to research. Are they again? So, blind on that eye. But maybe my mods have moved it somewhere else. That could be also the case. So, either way, here they are. So, Cryptosleep caskets are quite late down the road, but like I said, you can maintain yourself a nice vampire army with that, and, well, it's pretty cool to have that because they don't need Hemogen, they don't need maintenance there. All it requires is just you using your yearly gene implantation, because then you can have a nice army there. So number 9, I want to talk about the several benefits of drugging your vampires. Let's put it down like that. Since they are already pretty much a one-man army with all their skill set, it's really, really beneficial to get yourself a vampire that is just getting all those goodies, go juice and the like. Especially good usable when you have these Cryptosleep armies. Who cares about addiction if you just let them out once in a year? So drugs are really, really something to amp up the efficiency of these guys a lot. If you don't care about the addiction and you just can keep the production up, it's even better, because most drugs have as a pleasant side effect that they also make the person happy. So you get that morale problem a little bit better under control. Either way, if you have it, use it. If you don't have it, consider using it for the people that you can put to sleep. And if you wonder how to acquire Cryptosleep caskets easily, when you find ancient danger situations on your map, usually you can plunder these and use them for yourself. The Cryptosleep caskets, I mean. And last but not least, I want to talk on number 10 now about Sanguophages and Psycasts. They have a gene that makes them size sensitive automatically. That means they will gain more, well, mana, so to say, way faster than other people. So they are also very, very powerful receivers of Psycasting ability. You can use this in many, many wonderful ways. And all in all, I really recommend putting your Psycasts on your vampires if you plan to play them on your colony, because usually it even it even magnifies the power that they got already by a lot, and therefore it's very, very recommendable. If you use mods that enhance Psycast, like I'm running here, Vanilla Expanded Psycasting, it becomes even better, because you can even go for fire magic or fancy things like that. Either way, that's the list that I got. I hope you enjoyed. Consider leaving me a comment about things that I have missed or things that you might want to see on these videos. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Consider subscribing if you want to support. I'd be really, really delighted if you'd give also PayPal, Patreon, and Buy Me a Coffee a look. As a free content creator, I can really, really use all the help that I can get. There's also a link to Discord down there, so if you want to have a chat with me or the community, I'd be really, really happy. So, thanks for watching this video, thanks for still hanging around, and see you soon.